think I mentioned before that in my professional career, kind of my day job, I do business strategy. So I work in the strategy department for a company. So no surprise, probably based on these videos, but I spend a lot of my time thinking about problems and how to solve them and trying to think analytically and understanding issues and breaking down root causes and figuring out just the general approach we should be taking as a business. And, if we're launching a new product or a new business line or we have some decline in sales, right? How do we address that? And one of the things or one of the concepts that I think about, not daily, but really often, is this simple idea, this simple concept that I'll run into where, perhaps we're looking to launch a new product or we're trying to reorganize the business in some way, right? We have all these initiatives, like we have a lot of action going on. We have a lot of work happening. There's a bunch of things moving, but I'll recognize or realize seemingly that we don't understand some core aspect of what we're trying to do. So we're trying to sell a new product, we're trying to increase sales, but we recognize at some point like the product isn't very good or we haven't actually matched it to a client need. Or again, we're doing this big reorganization, but we can't actually articulate what the objective is, right? What is it that it's meant to do for us? How's it meant to help solve our problem or grow our business? And to me, when we run into those situations, I'll often, the concept being like, hey, this should be like a full stop here. Like everything should stop until we can answer this question, right? To the point about the operating model change or the org change. Unless we can articulate exactly why we're doing that, everything needs to stop. There's no point in doing anything else until we can answer that question. And likewise about the new product launch, right? If we can't figure out why a client would buy this or what that piece is, stop everything else. Don't worry about marketing. Don't worry about packaging. Don't worry about any of that stuff. None of that matters until we answer this critical question. And what I've started to think about recently is I maybe should employ that concept to my life a little bit more, in my strategy, if you will, for life. I've brought up before this idea that I don't feel terribly fulfilled in what I do in my career and my profession, and I guess in life in general, because it's such a predominant part of my life, right? And it carries over. You have your job and you work it however many hours you do in a given day, often for many of us more than we'd like to, but then it carries over. You're stressed based on what happened that day or what's going to happen the next day. And your personal life, your family life, whatever it is impacted in that. So it really does have a long tail in how much it impacts your life. So it's a big deal. And you get caught up, much like a business does, is you're taking action and you're just moving forward. We have to move, we have to do stuff. But same concept, like if you're not fulfilled by that, if you don't find a purpose in your life and what you're doing, if there's not joy and pleasure and passion around most of your day, that should be one of those situations where it's a full stop. Like stop it all. Like you need to be able to address that. That needs to be figured out, right? You can't just keep going day after day. You shouldn't go one more day. If you don't have a passion and a purpose and a sense of fulfillment in what you're doing, like tomorrow, like, it's going to be just another grind. It's going to be another day where I do my job and I, take my kid to school or make dinner or whatever it is. And this thought process of like, I'll get there eventually, right? Eventually I'll figure it out, or it's not that bad. Like I'm moving in a direction. I have a house, I have a family, I have a car, right? I have some nice things. It's much like in the business scenario where you convince yourself of this idea that the motion, the action, the activity you're doing makes sense. But when you step back and look at it, if you don't have that critical piece, the why or the purpose for it, like you got to stop it all. You got to figure that out. You have to answer that. So again, I think I need to bring that concept to my personal life. And it's easy, as always. It's always easy to see it somewhere else. It's easy to see it in a business. It's a little cleaner in that regard, right? Not easy, completely easy, but easier to say, hey, let's stop what we're doing around this part of planning or the business or the reorg until we answer this question. But in your life, like, how do you stop your life, right? How do you just hit pause until you address that question? Do you quit your job? Do you take a sabbatical? There's all different things you could do. And it's funny because even as I say those things, the visceral reaction is like, well, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. But again, bring it back to the concept at work. How illogical is it, almost borderline insane is it, to keep living a life day after day after day when you know there's a critical piece missing? You haven't addressed the critical question or the critical purpose of why you're doing what you're doing. You know there's a problem there. You know there's some fundamental problem, yet you keep pushing forward. Like, that should be the visceral reaction that's like, hey, this makes no sense. This can't be the right approach. So what I'm trying to do more of, and it's like many things, fear is underneath it. So it takes a degree of mental toughness, among other things, to actually face it and go forward. But I feel myself approaching that point of like, hey, this has got to be a full stop. Like, this has got to be a full stop. Reassess, recalibrate, and figure out the right way forward here. Because again, if I'm spending significant chunks of my day, whether it be directly working or indirectly because of the after effects of work, feeling like I'm not passionate and excited and getting out of the day what I need to be getting, I cannot keep letting days go by like that. You have to face that, and you have to face it in a very rational, logical way to say, like, you can think of it as a math equation. It's already negative, right? So if I take some other action and it's going to be negative, well, you got to balance those two negatives, and maybe it's still better, right? The fear that I have that if I were to quit my job or if I were to do something like that, well, what would happen? What if I lost my house? What if I couldn't, take my family on a nice vacation and my kid couldn't have new clothes? Yeah, those are bad things in theory. But what about the bad things that come with not feeling a purpose and a passion in life? What about those lessons you're teaching your son about what it means to be alive and what it means to kind of live out your life in a way in which you kind of just suck it up and deal with it? You weigh those things against each other, and obviously the much more important thing is to teach him the lessons about finding purpose, finding passion, doing the right things, living up to your potential, trying to make the world better and the people around you and the people you care about, right? Making them better in some way. That's way more important than showing him a vacation or I mean, it's great. If you can have both, awesome. But it just brings me back to that concept of like, hey, got to be a full stop. It's you're doing these things, but they don't make sense. And I need to enact and employ that concept in my personal life more. And I'm continuing to try to do that, but it's a work in progress.